Well, on this one, actually, we're talking about our experience with tracks, the tracks that we've done, and also, which is actually going to lead on to, if you're a newbie, ideas from us of how to prep for coming to track. So we'll get into that, but talk about our experience first. So I'll let you start with this one.
You know, actually, here's an invitation out to a lot of racers out there. Rory Skinner, I know you live down the street. It would be really cool if, so we're going to give our experience on a newcomer to the track, because, you know, it's similar to the CBT being experienced. I'm going to say, you're going to say the best way to start out on a track, but what kind of experience would Bob Grant, Rory Skinner, Oliver Barr, Valentino Rossi, if they were sitting here right now, I'm inviting Sam Monroe, I'm inviting you guys here right now to give your experience on what will come to track, because our experience to what it would take to get on track as a newbie would be different than that person's.
Absolutely, yeah. Straight off the bat, Bob Grant, he's thoroughbred, not kill, and he's the one. He's gone up with racers. He's gone up with newbies. That guy's going to have the ultimate wealth of experience and knowledge right there. So definitely inviting him to against it.
So one of his guys that he helps on his bike, Aiden, I'm good friends with him. So Aiden, come here for a podcast, get to talking. Bob Grant, and you know what? Any other big racer, I don't care how big you are, how small you are, your experience being beyond ours is...
Oh, completely. The thing is, like, I don't know how you feel, but I'm not massively experienced. I'm experienced in going to Knock Hill. I've been there quite a lot of times. I'm not a fast, capable rider. I'm comfortable out there. I know what it takes for me to get up there, the equipment I want to take. I've seen it from other people and whatnot, but we can only talk about what we know, really.
And that's my thing. When I go to Knock Hill or I go to these other tracks, I'm almost vicariously, is that the right word? I'm living the life of a Formula One Moto GP with my horse trailer. You know what I mean?
Dream.
You know, I'm living the closest to a dream that anybody could in my 40s.
Yeah.
You know, if I was in my 20s and I had an Irish dad that was, trying to kick my ass into being Moto GP, I don't know if that's fun, but that's an avenue to go if you're ever born into that. But I don't have that option. You're like me in the sense that we're amateur racers.
Oh, are we not even racers?
Not even a racer. Because I am racing somebody. I'm racing myself.
Yeah. Oh, no. You're right. There's a level of like, if you're up there and you're with your mates and stuff, there's a competitive element to it. And also, if you're up there, and if you're matching your pace with somebody else, and you sit with that, and then you get in front of them, but then if they take you, like you took me recently, and I was like, fucking hell, what the fuck?
Well, so back to that point, you had told me that your first ever track day you were off right after the straight at Duffus right there. Yeah. So let me tell you a story. I'm going to tell you a story. Hold on. Come on. So the story I want to tell you is you said you came off into the dirt right there right after the straight.
First corner, after the lap car, the car went in after the second lap, and I beasted it down the straight. First corner, didn't know what to do, straight off into the gravel.
So last week on my Ducati, I red flagged it after the straight in my fucking Ducati.
Did you keep it upright?
Yes, I don't know how. So this is what happened.
This is at Knock Hill.
So Knock Hill last week. There's a whole nother story about buying race bikes versus buying new bikes, which is a whole nother topic, right? That's a great topic for new guys to the track day. Have you ever had a Fireblade?
No.
Have you seen the damper that's on my Fireblade? It's the electrical one that's right there.
Oh, at the top.
And the top right there.
Seen it.
So for me, it works great. So my buddy, his new race bike that he purchased, which actually is kind of knackered, his bike shit out and he hopped on mine. I was like, oh, he's gonna be perfect on it. He's like, oh, is it race shift or normal shift? It's normal shift, and don't have a slipper clutch. Don't even have a fucking blipper, quick shifter, nothing. It's stock, but it's fun as fuck. So he got on. He's like, this thing can fucking pull, right? Yeah, it can. Well, so we went out on track together, and he's fast. He's faster than me, but I knew he was at a disadvantage at Knock Hill, number one, and on my bike, which he doesn't really know, so he's going to hold back a little bit, right? I wanted him on his bike because I really wanted to, to test myself against him because I know he is faster than me. At Crop, fucking fast group blows my doors off.
Yeah, so you want him on his bike where he's comfortable, and
amateur racer here, I wanted to race him, right? Well, so you could see on a bunch of my videos, I'm chasing him. I'm getting closer, and I'm like, all right, here we go. I'm going to pass him. Well, we got to the straight, and I'm noticing he's wheeling, and I'm like, get him. The second time around on the straight, which must have been 12 minutes into the session, right? So we're midway through the session, and I'm like, I'm going to pass this motherfucker. And he's wheeling. And I didn't realize when he was wheeling, he was slapping. He was tank slapping, right? So he goes and he wheelies, and then he comes down and he slaps. But I didn't know this. It's
just the video went on YouTube a few days ago.
No,
Have you seen this?
I didn't record it.
Okay.
The pads come unseated, right? So, or they expand. So he goes for a handful of breaks and he gets nothing. So he doesn't realize I'm to the left of him at the pits entrance, and we're getting ready to dive down on that first turn right there. And I'm getting ready. I'm getting ready to turn down on him. He doesn't turn. And we're doing a buck fucking, so
Both your bikes.
Ducati and fucking Fireblade, and we're going, and I start to tip, and he doesn't tip, and I'm thinking to myself, what the fuck, right? So at that point, I have to stand it up and then look straight into the dirt and go just save it, right? Well, finally, he gets a little bit of break, and then he off he goes, and then I do the same thing as you. I get midway through, almost to the wall, and I look up, and there's a guy staring at me, and I'm like, red flags out, and I'm just sitting there. I'm like, fuck.
Why did they red flag it?
I don't know. Like I thought to myself they would have just yellow flagged it and let me back on track, but they red flagged it. Actually, maybe this is not killed. A lot of things are lax on there. They once this red flag, everybody off the track.
Yeah.
So good on them for safety.
No, just usually you'd
get back on track.
Yeah, or get back on track if it's safe enough, or get yourself tucked away and then let the session continue until.
I actually thought I was going to get a yellow flag and get myself back on track, but I turned around, there was a red flag, and
this is where Gordon Sheridan's going to be like, you guys clearly don't pay attention to the rules and regulations.
I know, right? I just thought they were going to yellow flag it. They didn't. They red flagged it, and then I came back in, and the session was almost done anyway, so I didn't feel too bad. Anyways, I get back on track, and then Johnny, the guy that was on my bike, he's all, what happened? I was like, bro, fucking, what happened with you? Like I red flagged because of you. He's all, fuck, I didn't even know, right? And then he told me what happened. I was like, oh shit, and then I was a little bit nervous about my bike not having front brakes.
Yeah.
And then, but that was a pretty big scare.
Did you do anything to your bike? Did you recognize that there was any problems with it? Did you have to reset the pads or?
No, he got it going again. I haven't ridden it since. I probably should. But he got the brakes working. He must have just slapped it so hard because he was wheeling and he was riding the wheelie. If I wheelie, either I shift, just to get that wheelie down, but he was riding that wheelie.
Yeah, new bike to him though as well. So
and he must have been excited that he had the ability to ride a wheelie. He's like fucking just riding down the straight in a full blown wheelie. Where for me, do you ride wheelies? No. Do you shift or doubt?
In the past, yes, but not now. I don't know. I don't even know why not now.
I mean, doing 110 miles an hour on a wheelie. And he was just like, and then he landed it and he's just slapping, and then he does it again for the next one.
So it didn't put him off. He was still up for it.
He was still up. He's kind of nuts. But then the next, we had a pretty good battle, and I ended up passing him, and I passed him because I knew he didn't know where his brake marks were in the straight before the hairpin. I passed him there because he braked too early. I just fucking flew by him. And then that's when he told me, he's like, hey, I noticed that your tires were all over the place on the duck. Anyways, so this is about being new to the track.
Being new, but also let's talk about our experience with track though. What tracks we've ridden.
What tracks have you ridden?
I have ridden, are you ready for this? Not Kill more times than I can remember, and still not good at it. And Mallory Park. I went to Cadwell a couple of months ago. I went down to buy a CRF 250 from somebody, and I took my bike down because I thought I'll get a couple hours track time. This was a track evening, and it started pissing down with rain, and I thought I'm not going to attack this with Pirellis and rain, so I chickened out, and that's as close as I got. And I was meant to ride Silverstone on my Ducati, but that never happened.
Why?
I booked it. It's because it's when I had the SP2.
How long ago was this? This was last year.
Yeah.
But I thought they stopped track days.
No. They still do. UK Ducati organised track days at Silverstone, and Silverstone.
It was UK Ducati.
Yeah. UK Ducati, not the team, not the
No Limits
the factory or whatever.
Yeah.
But no, it wasn't. It was UK Ducati, but I think it was through No Limits though. But I'd sold the SP2, so I never made it there. But
shut up with your Gixxer.
My track experience is Knock Hill and once at Mallory Park, and that is it.
You ready for mine?
Yeah, go for it.
Knock Hill, Donington, Alton Park, Croft, Cartagena. What's that, 5 or 6?
That's 5.
Yeah. So and then this year I have Almeria.
Yeah.
I'm leaving Sunday for Cadwell to pit bikes at Croft, that's a whole nother topic, practicing on pit bikes.
Which is the scary track? Is it Croft, the one that's really tight, or is that Cadwell?
I don't know about Cadwell yet. Croft is nice.
How long is Croft?
A little bit longer than Knock Hill. Croft is actually, when I was listening to 44 Teeth, he said he would much rather give up Knock Hill exchange for Croft for BSB. And when I wrote on, I was like, oh, this is why. Number one, because of the weather. And number two, the chicanes on it there must be 4 chicanes.
All right.
Oh, it's like you line yourself up perfectly and just go.
Is it a wide track or quite a narrow track?
It's about the same as Knock Hill. It's not thin.
But in fairness, the weather at Knock Hill is it's not that bad. It's usually all right.
Yeah. I don't know. You think? Yeah, I mean, you're from Scotland, so I mean, I think your eyes are. Well, you're wearing goggles.
From my experience of going to Knock Hill, I can think of 3 times I've had a track day booked and gone up there.
And it rained?
And it's been pissing down.
Remember that one video where the river was flowing through? That was with you.
Yeah. Yeah, man. But even before that, I think about 4 years ago, there was a massive, basically, river that had come into effect at the bottom of Duffus, and it was mental. It was ridiculous. We hung about for a bit. They cancelled the day, and then it was just a big uproar because everybody was like, "We want a refund," and I was like, "Oh well, back to God. What can you do?"
Yeah, right.
Else, but no, I think maybe 3 days, or I've been up there and I've got like half a day, and it started raining, which
really?
I've been satisfied with. But I also have to tell you, so I've been up to Knock Hill since 2019 loads, and this year I've only been once. And the reason for that is because at the beginning of the year, because for the last 3 years, my weight is I've just never got a hold of it. Barely getting my leathers. I actually mind I think it was in 2019, I went up to Knock Hill and I went out on track and I came in and after about 5 laps and Gordon was like, "What's up?" And I was just like, "You know what, Gordon, man? Not today." He's just like, "What's the problem?" I was just like, "I'm just too fucking fat." And he was like, "Sort it out." And I was like, "You know what, you're right." But I did. I sorted it out. But then in 2021, man, my weight went up. And then this year, I basically said to myself, you cannot go on track until you bring your weight down. Now, I did cheat because I did go on track about a month ago for half a day. And my fucking clutch gave in about after the first session. Basically, it started slipping. And I was just like, well, that was that day over. But I fixed it all now. And I'm going on the 29th. And I've lost about 7 kg. And I'm still losing more. By the end of the year, I really want to get back to what I was in 2020, man.
There's
a long way to go.
There's a boxing gym down the street. I go to the boxing gym strictly because even last night I was like, I don't want to go.
Yeah,
and I went. I go specifically. There's another guy actually at my gym who does 51s at Knock Hill.
Oh, excellent.
His name's Lewis. I can't remember his last name. He might be watching this video, but his wife's into horses, so he knows Cheryl.
Okay.
But he does 51s, and we have a race coming up, right? So we went in there
on the pit bikes.
No, at Knock Hill. We're gonna do a race. This is the race.
What bike are you taking?
I don't know. This is the agreement. He I think he's got a Gixxer 600 or 750, and he says, "I'm going to give you a lap head start." Actually, that's what we should do. We should go out at the same time. That's what we do. And he says, "I have 9 laps to catch you." All right, okay. So that's what we're gonna do. All right. In 9 laps, if he does 51s.
He's riding a 600 or 750. One or the other. Right? But he does 51s, and I'm doing 56s. Dude, that's fucking awesome, man.
So I mean, think about that.
What are you doing now?
I'm 56s.
Okay, that's fucking impressive.
I'm constantly 57s, touching 56s.
That's nice.
Just touching them, right, bro? That's like me. We've been pulled in. Oh yeah, you. This motherfucker. Anyways,
I'm not that.
Stop
There's
it.
no way.
Anyways,
no way.
I wanted to talk about. You said something about being on track. I'm living an amateur Formula One MotoGP guy. Rocking up to the track, and to me, that's so exciting. It's no different than.
Dude, when I see you up in Knock Hill, I mean, I can see you're loving your life because you're zipping about. You're always fixing something that's broken as well. I mean, you've just arrived for the day and there's something not right.
So my buddy, he bought a race bike and it's knackered, right? And I let him borrow my bike, and then got to talking to the dad, and I was like, for the first part of this year, all my bikes were fucked. I had my Ducati that was pissing coolant. I got that fixed. Thank God they warranted it.
Yeah, because is that they fitted an expansion tank on there's already one, but they fit another one on the other side.
No, that's this one.
Okay.
Were you there for that? No,
it's just when I had my 2018 bike that when I went recalls, that was one of the things.
So I wasn't here, so I had to have somebody put the plastics on, and they took the expansion tank off. They just took it off, and I had no idea. And when I told my friends this, they're like, "Well, why didn't you put your tank on?" And I'm sitting here like, I'm busy as fuck, and that poor excuse. So I put a Coke can on, and that Coke can worked. But now there's a legitimate, my buddy that was in Newcastle, he put a legitimate proper one on. But anyways, my duck leaking coolant, and it was just dribble drabs of coolant, and they did the water pump, warranted it. Ducati Dundee. The Fireblade kept leaking fork seals, and I got OE forks for a 2006. Brand new factory. That bike's the best bike that we have. Just within the last month, those two bikes have been like, now they're 100%, and it's this bike. But see, that's my thing. And this is a whole nother topic for the podcast. Is it's like Guy Martin. You know, he said that his favorite thing riding Isle of Man wasn't how fast he could go. It's him prepping the machine. You know, and that's what I love. You too.
Yeah, that's the same. That's going back to the Land's End to John O'Groats challenge that I did. It's buying that bike for 600 quid. It's the prepping it. There was so much joy in that itself, so much learning, and just, you know, it was so zenful, just sitting there tinkering away for hours. And there's something to look forward to. And like, you'd be working on it, and then something you recognize, all right, I need to understand how to fix this, and you'd spend the next few days researching it, and then next week you're at it again. So I get that. I totally get that. But also for track stuff, because right now, you know, we were talking about earlier on, we're getting ready for track. My jigsaw thou is currently actually all good. I'm not in this position, and I don't know what to do with myself. Like, just all I have to do is clean it and then take the bike there, and it's all good. Whereas versus the lastminute.com, tomorrow is not cool, and tonight is like fixing it, getting all rushing together, and all the rest of it. Whereas being a bit more organized is so much more.
Well, so that's actually how I'm using Knock Hill now as my test bed, and then I'm using the rest of Europe as my fun.
Yeah, but look, when you went to Cartagena, the experience that you would have got out of that would have been absolutely incredible. Besides the friendships you make and whatever else, and the banter you have there, but actually 3 days on a beautiful track like that, where you're pretty much guaranteed the weather, and you're away from all the noise that you have over here. It's just that. Yeah.
Like, it used to be knock hill, get my times down, but now I'm at a point where I actually think I'll be better at knock hill if I get better at Cartagena, if I get better at
of course. But the other thing about knock hill is that it's how to attack knock hill. So you can make it into quarters. So the first is from the start finish until the second right hander you could do, for instance. And then the next bit is up to Clark's basically, and then, you know, the hairpin in itself is always a challenge. For
you
people.
Want to know now? I'm at a point where, and I don't mean to sound too cocky, but I've got the lines really good. I'm now just trying to ride I feel like I'm in a rodeo. I'm trying to get as much power in that line as I can. So I took my aim. Somebody gave me their program for their aim, so I actually saw their lines and how fast they were going. And I was like, holy shit, how are you going that fast on that same line? It wasn't that the line is different than mine. It's that they were going fast on that same part. So now I'm trying to hit that with extra speed. And then I go, oh, you know, it comes out on me a little bit. I'm like, okay, so I'm really trying to find the limit of that line. So I told Cheryl, I'm fast as fuck on the rain, right? And
do you run wets?
I have a wet bike. Well, the Fireblade was a wet bike, but this year. Anyways, I was out with the fast group, fucking like even with the fast group, faster than the fast group. So I told Cheryl, I was like, I bet you I'm as fast as BSB guys on the fucking wets. I looked up their times.
Nah.
Reality check. Do you want to know how fast they're doing in the wets? So I'm doing 57s constantly in dries.
I think they're doing 52s in the wet. 51s, 52s.
No, they're in the wets. They're doing 53s.
Are they?
Yeah.
Because in the dries, about 47.
They're doing 48s. 48s?
Yeah, 47, 48s.
Yeah, like fast as fuck. But anyways, here I am in my living room. I told my wife, I was like, yeah, I bet you I'm fast as BSB dudes in the wet as I am in the dry. And then I look at the times like,
Cheryl must love it when you're on a hype like that.
Oh,
she
yeah.
Just watches you just like, oh. Right.
Yeah, she goes, oh, really? Tell me more. Oh, yeah.
Don't worry,
fucking
honey.
idiot. You know, I don't even know why I'm admitting this for the podcast, but fuck, dude. So, how to get prepped? Let me tell you about Cartagena. So I signed up for Cartagena, and
by the way, was your bike ready when it went in stillage?
No. Yes, it was in a stillage. So it was this bike.
So
this bike just wasn't ready. It wasn't ready, and then finally I got it ready. It's in my trailer, ready to go, and I couldn't fill it more than half a tank of fuel. It kept overflowing. I kept filling one of the vents was broken internally. It's a story for another day. But anyways, I brought it back to my mechanic at like closing time, and they stayed till 8:00 at night fixing it. They did it for free because
good on them for doing it.
Oh, dude, these guys are good. It was at that point I was like, oh, it's time for the Ducati. So I got the Ducati ready. Well, the last minute, because I told the guy ahead of time, I said, hey, is there any way I could bring 2 bikes? And he called me or messaged me last minute and said somebody had dropped out. So you can bring 2 bikes. So I brought 2 bikes.
Did you have to pay extra?
I did. So here I am showing up. So I show up to Cartagena.
Look at this guy.
Yeah,
you do that not kill anyway. Rocking up with 3 bikes, nice ass trailer, which you put a dent in the first week. By the way, do you remember when your V4S was sat up on the paddocks next to my
I was
SP2?
dropped in? Yeah, fuck you.
And you really fucking dropped into SP2.
Can we stay on the goddamn topic, please?
I just looked at Donald and I was just like, Donald looked at me and being like, fucking typical, eh?
Back to what I was talking about, you fucking asshole. So I go to Cartagena and I don't even remember what I was thinking. It's like going to a jiu-jitsu gym on your own or a boxing gym on your own. I just show up and they're like, who the fuck do you think you are? And I'm like, I'm here to fight, right? So I show up to Cartagena and
that's actually well put by the way.
I literally do that. I used to show up to poker halls in the States, just the seediest areas. I'm ready. And they're like,
who the fuck are you?
I have so much anxiety now, but I thought to myself last night, I need to get back to doing that. Just go to fucking tournaments and anyways. So I sign up for Cartagena, and I'm asking the guys like, how does this work? And they're not really giving me the information. And to be fair, the reason they're not giving me the information is because I think they thought I knew, and I keep asking them, and I'm like, just show up. So I fly to Cartagena, I get a taxi, and I get to the airport, and there's the guys, and I'm like, all right, how you get to the track? And they're like, what do you mean how you get to the track? Where's your hire car? And I'm like, I don't know where my hire car is at. These guys are doing blow behind me and fucking drunk as fuck. So I asked one of the guys, drunk as fuck. Hey, can I get a ride to the track? I get back to my hotel room and Cheryl goes, who's taking you? I'm like, one of the BSB dudes. And he's drunk as fuck, and I don't think he was gonna remember tomorrow morning.
Yeah. So you're gonna have to make sure you're up.
No. So she goes, nope. So she gets me a fucking hire car, walking distance, right? So I fucking hightail it to the hire car, which is 2 miles away. Right, which is a whole nother story for fucking Spain. I got some military experiences in Spain. I kind of love Spain, right? So, anyways, I get this hire car, and I'm glad I'm not going with these guys because these guys, not only is Cartagena the track, the fucking motorway in Spain's the track for them too. They're fucking full blown NASCAR.
Yeah, but that's good though, man.
No, it's not good because the police literally are showing up, and I literally
that's their problem.
They don't know how to speak any Spanish, and I know how to speak a little poquito Spanish, and I'm talking them out of fucking tickets. Yeah. Right? So that's the story. I don't know what's going on. Now we've set up that when I go to Almeria that we got a hire car that I'm driving because I know how to drive on that side of the road, and yeah.
Well, let's look at the contrast, right? So when I originally going to track days was riding up. So riding up with whatever fuel you had, and at lunchtime, if you needed to get fuel, going down to the Tesco's at Dunfermline or whatever it was, filling up and then coming back. That was the original. That's what it was back in the day.
Were you out of fuel by the end of the day too? Again?
Yeah. In fact, my mate Stuart, he was out in his 1098, and which drinks the fuel. And his wife was up there with him. She'd driven, and basically at the end, when he left Knockhill at the end of the day, fuel light came on, and he got just before the Forth Road Bridge, pulled over, run out of fuel. And he thought, it's cool, man, because my wife Louise is going to drive past in a few minutes and I'll just wave her down. So he stood there, Louise is driving past, and he was trying to wave her down, and she waved back at him and just kept going. And then luckily for him, I know, yeah, but luckily for him, another guy who was up at Knockhill pulled in and gave him some fuel, enough to get him to a petrol station. So it worked out beautiful.
So do you put fuel in your backpack?
Oh, dude, I've got a fucking great story for that, man.
Because I see these fuckers pull up, and I'm like, where are you putting fuel?
Oh, dude, I've got a great story for that. One time, Stuart and I had booked up Knockhill. This is probably about 10 years ago. And one of my mates was going to let me borrow his van. Because at the time, he didn't have a van, and my van... I've always had a van, but for some reason, I didn't have it at that time. So a friend of mine's going to lend us his van. And in the end, right at the last minute, it didn't work out. So me and Stuart were like, what the fuck are we going to do? We rode up to Knockhill, and I shit you not, man. We had jerry cans strapped to our backs. One of his and one of my, I shit you not.
Big ones or small ones?
Big ones,
oh,
20 litre jobs. We strapped them and then wrapped them up, and then we rode up to Knock Hill. And I shit you not, we got into the car park, and Stuart's strap fucking fell off, and then
burst.
No, it didn't burst, but
it fell off.
But the thing is, we still talk about it, and I always say to Stuart, I was like, Stuart, imagine the headlines if we were riding to Knock Hill with petrol strapped to our backs, and I'm Pakistani Muslim, right? The headlines would be terrorist attack. We still laugh about it.
Oh, and this is why Knock Hill every year keeps getting stricter and stricter, because the fucking dickheads. Like
we learnt, man. We learnt. But the thing is, it's a total contrast now, because now it's like it's vans, it's organised, it's prepping the bikes before and making sure
because
we're
you
ready.
have more fun.
Do you know what the best thing is? You're up there, you've had your day, and at the end of the day, when you can load your bike in the van and take your leathers off and get into your comfies, man, it's just chill.
Yep,
it's so good.
This thing.
Just enjoy the drive home.
On what is today? Today's Wednesday. Tomorrow I got Skyline over in England, and then on Friday and Saturday I'll be prepping this bike to get rid of the air. Try to fix this thing. I do a horrible job of prepping ahead of time, right? But the more I prep, the funner it is, because I got 3 bikes,
But the thing is, I'm not used to being. I love to be organised, but in some things I'm really terrible at it. Yeah. My bike has been known to be in the garage in bits the day before a track day, and Stuart's gone in and just went, "Fuck you, Z," and basically just got it. In the past, he's put it back.
That's like my buddy Joe.
Yeah, massively grateful to him.
Sometimes, honestly, you're good at audio. I'm good at video. You need to have friends good at. And Joe talks shit to me, and I will fucking take it, because I know deep down I'm like, Joe, thank you.
Yeah, but but on top of that though, this is just kind of an offshoot. Many years ago, my Gixxer 600 K4, the yellow one. Don't ask me why, but I did it. I via eBay bought Chinese brake discs and some others.
Don't say rear sets, because I got a shitload of Chinese rear sets in there.
You know what it is, right? First of all, right, I'm Scottish and I'm Pakistani, so I'm fucking super tight.
You bought Chinese,
and I bought
pads.
Chinese bits from a bike. I can't probably, because it's new discs. It would have been new pads as well, but they were Chinese. I think the discs were Chinese, but the pads not.
Because
so
I just returned some Chinese rear sets for this. That's a topic for fucking another podcast.
You know what, man? 100%. Like, as it just avoid. So what? I bought it, and I installed it on the bike, and with Stuart watching me, and Stuart basically being like, "You're a fucking dickhead." This is no lie, straight up. I took once it was all fitted. I took it for a test run to bed in the brakes. I shit you not. Within a mile, they warped. Within a mile.
How do you know they warped?
Because it was vibrating like fuck. At first they were fine, and I was just like on off, nice and easy, and then building up, and then basically by the time I got back to the house, it was like, these things are fucked. And then Stuart went through me on that, and then basically got rid of them. In fact, I think we kept them actually. We always kept them just to be like a reminder. I went online to Demon Tweaks and then dropped about, I think, $2,500, and I went proper, absolutely proper. And then at that point, the addiction started. The addiction started of buying
Getting
decent
good
shit.
Yep.
I even when I don't need it.
So I've got me some
very good pads.
I've got me some old Brembo.
Yeah.
Z04s.
Yeah. How much is Z04s now? They shouldn't be. They're about 100 quid, 120 quid
for one. For
one side,
which, I mean, you're 250 pounds.
But if you buy it, so basically, this is how it works. I remember this from when I had my V4S. If you buy it from Ducati, it's 120 a side. But if you buy it from Triumph, it's 70, I think.
For the Yamaha.
Yeah, but the pads are the
Are they the same?
Yeah, they're the same, because it's the calipers are the calipers.
So that's a whole nother topic, is because I'm looking at some Brembos for the Fireblade, and I keep looking at these Brembos and they look similar, but I'm like, are they the same? Because I got these. Oh
yeah, you just reference them online, but you can see it by visually that they fit. But the SBS pad's incredible. I love them.
Well, actually, I haven't even bed this in.
Which ones are those? Let's have a look.
I haven't even bed these in yet, because I went on the track and the bike was broken before, so I only did 2-3 laps on the track.
Are these for the fronts or the back?
Front.
They're tiny.
Yep.
Maybe I'm wrong.
So, anyways, I got. So anybody watching this, if they're out on track with me, I have Z04s.
If you're on track, just stay away.
Yeah. This is our friendship ending. Is that the Scottish banter you're talking? Anyways, One thing I need to talk about is I was at Croft, and I said that I want to talk about Croft in an upcoming podcast. And my buddy's all, hey, are you going to start doing podcasts? I do want to talk about the intricacies of each track. That's what you were talking about at Knock Hill, where you said that you almost have to attack Knock Hill. Actually, elaborate.
Well, yeah. So it's this is more information. This is more so from my mate James. So James used to race up at Knock Hill. Actually, my Gixxer 1000 was originally built by James. That's how I met him. And he's a very good friend now. But he basically said, just today go out and work on the first quarter of the track and just focus on that, and then next time focus on the second quarter and build it up from there. And it was massively valuable advice. And also the idea of, like, if you get somebody to go up and follow you, like, quite often if we're out on track, sometimes Gordon will come out on his bike, Gordon Shedden. And
he's got a Beamer, right?
Yeah.
He's fast as fuck.
Rutter's old motorbike, race bike. Yeah, he is fast as fuck. I mean, he is. He's a BTCC champion.
You're talking about your bald friend, right?
No, not Donald. I'm talking about Gordon Shedden, who owns Knock Hill.
I got a funny story about Donald.
Oh yeah,
I'm not sure he knows about it. Anyways,
we'll definitely talk about it then. But anyway, the good thing about that is that if Gordon's out, then ask him to come and follow you, and at least he could tell you about your lines. Or when he obviously a couple of weeks ago he was out. He was going out, really good of him to go out there and basically look at folk and say, right, follow me, follow my lines. But that's the thing though. It's like we can, as a newbie, when I took Kasim out a couple of weeks ago, I sold him a V2 last year as my friend's son. I wanted to make sure he was all right. And he's like, I want to get my knee down. We've all been there. We want to get our knee down, do this. And I was just like, dude, simplify it. Go around like Miss Daisy. Take it super easy. Just learn the track, learn where the corners are, and build up. But I'm telling you, 2-hour open pit, by the end of it, he was flying, and he was doing great. His lines were good as well.
So I asked Sam Monroe, I said, because we got to talk, and he said that the Moto America guys, he said they actually pay you in the States versus whatever BSB, they pay you more there. I don't know if that's true. So I said to him, I said, I want to get a bike in the States. So, I mean, I'd love to kill two birds and get a bike and put you on it. I said, how long does it take for you? Like if we're in Georgia or Florida or whatever, I'll fucking drag the bike there. All you have to do is fly over. How many laps does it take you to learn the track? And he looked at me dead in the face and said, it takes me 12 laps.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, you know what I mean? Yeah. All my mates from Newcastle were listening. I was like, that to me, I was like,
you know what? There's the difference, because I went through a phase of Knock Hill where I was going slower and slower and slower. But that's the beauty of basically, like, we could go up there like Trackday heroes and whatever else, but at the end of the day, man, a racer is a racer.
Yep.
Like if I think about my mate James and like how his brain functions versus me, I just want to chill and just enjoy.
I wanted to see that because I wanted to have my bike prepped on the West Coast, Laguna Seca, PIR, and Seattle area, and have my bike prepped, and then maybe sign up for a race, Daytona, I don't know, fucking whatever, and then just be like, here's my bike and show me what you got. Yeah. And just to see Hickman and stuff like that on track, because that's what Hickman did. He went to fucking Daytona this year, and he was I think he was 12th place, and I'm not sure if it's because he was a worse rider than everybody, but he had logistical and technical issues, which if I could see that in person, that would just be nothing cooler.
But then going back to, we were talking about newcomers to track, and we never quite we went on a tangent. We never quite got there. But what does it mean? What's the good to know information for somebody new coming on the track?
So one of the reasons I'm going to Cadwell and one of the reasons I'm going to all these other tracks is because I think whatever it was, how I learned Knock Hill, I've already forgotten. You know what I mean? Like, I forgot what it's like to walk before you run at Knock Hill. I completely forgot what it took, because now I'm doing 56s, which a lot of the guys watching this video are like, that's fucking nothing. Well, I mean, you're fucking doing 57s, 56s. I know you are. Keep your mouth shut. Yeah, I know you are. but when you come to Knock Hill, you don't stress. It's not new.
But I have.
And
I've gone through that phase of like going up there and stressing.
To be honest, if next year I said to you, hey, I will pay you $10,000 if you can do 54s, you would lose the weight. You would lose the fucking weight, and you would donate. You would get the money ready for a bike, and you would do 50 fucking fours. You have it in you.
Yeah.
You do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So yeah, you're right. That incentive would definitely work for me. $10,000 would buy me some nice tricks.
But I'm now not a newcomer, but I actually feel this is a huge business opportunity for both Knock Hill and YouTubers who can, those girls that were at the girl only track day, like they want to be on a track. They love their bikes. So this girl rocked up, right? On an R7, brand new bike. And you know what she said when she got pulled next to the Chaz's van, and she said, "I'm going home." And I said, "No, you're not. No, I don't even know her name. I don't even know who she is, right?" Really nice, but brand new bike. I said, "See that green building? Go over there, and I'll meet you over there. I'll meet you in the pits. I'll meet you in the garage." So she goes over there, and I'm standing there, and 5 minutes go by, and she doesn't show up. What the fuck? So I go around the corner, and she's still waiting there because she wants to be directed where to go, but she's so nervous, she's like frozen. And I think this is a great business opportunity for literally somebody to put training wheels on a bike or walk and hold their hand to say, this is the first. You want to know what? A guy before a race at the KMSC walked me around Knock Hill. I'm like, he walked me. This is your line. This is your line. Yeah.
And there's a massive value in.
I live streamed walking around Knock Hill last week. Did you watch that?
No, I haven't seen it. But Stuart and I think it was in 2020 we started it. We get there early enough and set ourselves up, and then go and ask for permission to walk around. And we basically, it makes such a difference. Mentally sets you up.
You know what, Zahir? Seriously, if we go to tracks, we should probably get permission. But that's in itself an opportunity to live stream, to be like, hey, okay, straight. This is the straight. You need to be over here, first gear, second gear. Blah, blah, blah. That's a great opportunity for you and I to do that in the future.
So, in respect to that, so we started off with this recording with the idea that we're going to talk about, newcomers, the one. But I think reality, the better way to do it is, if it was a video of section 1 being having a bike and just saying, right, these are the things that you need to look at on your bike. Is this in good condition? What's the tires like? Pressures, etc., etc. And then that'll lead on to the gear that they're using, and then how to mentally get ready for that. From what we understand, we're not saying we know the answers, but from what we understand. And then another video of actually being on track and walking. You're absolutely right, just walking around saying, right, these are the lines that, as a newcomer, set yourself up for this. Because the day I went up a couple of weeks ago for newbies, my friend Qasim, he went up with a friend of his, and it was brilliant because his friend said to me, he came in after like halfway through and said, "Oh, I'm having a great time, but he's like, I'm breaking too late." And I was like, no. I was like, no, you're not. I was like, you're breaking too early. So I explained to him, I was like, when you're coming through the start finish straight, you're braking well before the bridge. I was like, basically beast it comfortably for you, beast it, get past the bridge, and then brake. But I was like, what you're doing is you're actually staying to the right when you're hitting Duffus and then going down that way. So what you want to do is, once you get past the bridge, make sure you start working out to the left. Hug that line, the pit exit. Hug that white line. And then build yourself up to chuck yourself into Duffus. But the good thing, he didn't take it well off me because it hit his pride. We all suffer from that. But he took that information on. Fair play to him. And I watched him, and he started taking it on. And I hope he had a really good day. I'm sure he did. In fact, I know he did. But it's videos like that where just to do a talk. The thing is, look, people are going to watch this thinking, who the fuck are these guys?
True.
We're not saying that we have the answers, but we're just saying that, from what our perspective, what we understand, try this. We're hopefully not putting anybody in a exactly.
Well, so actually to that exact point, last week at Knock Hill, I had all my buddies from Newcastle up, and we had ourselves a fucking Formula One paddock situation going on, and one of the girls that rode in the past, she came up and she's fucking gung ho. She's a police officer around nearby you, and she's gung ho, right? And I'm like, fuck, good on her, right? And then she kind of takes me to the side and she goes, "Hey, can you help me out with my PSI?" And I go, I to your point about this, and now I'm getting kind of scared. There was a guy, a few months back that goes, "Hey, what PSI should I have on my bike?" So I'm like, "Whoa, that's on you. That's on you," because I had my Ducati up there with 35 PSI rear tires because I forgot to check it after they fucking mounted it. My computer was going beep, 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 beep. Like I was fucking hitting the corners. I was fast as fuck on the straights, but my bike was just like holding on to me as I was tilting that shit, right? And I'm like, it might have even been 37 because it was, I don't know.
By the time it heats up, man, it's going to be
close to 40, right? Anyways, so I asked her, I said, what brand of tires do you have? And then she goes, I don't know. And I'm like, she goes, what brand of tires do you have? I'm like, I got Dunlops on that bike. I'm running 23s on that bike. I got Michelin's on this bike.
Yeah, so to her, you sound like an absolute pro, man.
Fucking all my tires are set at 26 unless it's a Dunlop. It's a 23.
Yeah, but what's the answer to that? The answer to that is what tires are you running, and then just a quick research online just to see. The thing is, even like when Gaston went out, I set his tire pressures vaguely, because I also knew that he's not going to be pushing the tire. He had Pirellis on it, and he's not going to be getting the heat right in them. So I went slightly higher than what I would normally do. But I guess we do have that kind of
So
experience.
You were talking about the before I could tell you what line you need to be at Knock Hill. Actually, you actually kind of proved an entire point that you probably there's a whole bunch of prerequisites that you need to get to before you need to know what line you. For instance, you need to know what PSI you're at.
Yeah, but that's why the structure of the videos I was saying that would be talking about the bike, and then talking about gear, and then talking about mentality, and then.
Because also here's another thing: when you go out on track on your first session, which remind me to tell you about Donald too, because when you go out on track on your first session, how much fuel do you have?
Oh, half a tank. I run half a tank.
You run half a tank.
Half a tank again.
So at Croft, I noticed all of a sudden towards the end of the sessions, I started getting fast as fuck. Yeah. I'm fast, and I'm like, I'm looking down at my times, and it's in the green.
Can I tell you why I learned that though?
You know where I'm going with this, don't you?
The way I learned it was I mined ages ago. I would always go out with a full tank. I mined ages ago. I had half a tank, and I went out, and I was like, "Oh, this fucking bike feels great, and I was trying to work it out. And then I realized I went out with half a tank, so I've got a lot of weight that's not in there.
Yeah. Well, for me, because I actually go out with a full tank, and the reason I go out with a full tank is I really want to get used to the bike being heavy. Yeah. I want to get. My buddies are always measuring. 3 liters, 4 liters, whatever. And then for me, I started going fast as fuck, and I'm like, fucking yeah. Light comes on, and I'm like, that's why I was going fast. So I've noticed that a lot of these pro guys, especially at James Whittam, that the Donald story I'm about to tell you they don't run tire warmers. Do you notice that?
Oh, the instructors,
the BSB instructors don't run tire warmers.
Yeah.
And if you guys are pros, come tell me why. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm trying to put myself in their head. They understand the capability of that bike, that even if they're riding at the top limit of me, their tires still don't even need to be worn.
Yeah.
Because they know the limits.
But that's the thing though. They're instructors. I guess when they're going out, they're allowing themselves 2-3 laps to heat up, because they're going out with a group, so they're not beasting it. They're not going out to race. They're just nice and comfortable.
And they're on brand new R1s.
Yeah, and they're building the heat up. But then on top of that, I mean, years ago there was a guy, I can't remember his name. I knew him from he had a flower shop in Edinburgh, and he was always up at Knock Hill. But I was up there with Stuart one day, and it was pissing down with rain, and he was out there on fucking slicks, man. In the rain. I saw him go up the start finish straight and hit Duffus, and I was like, fucking hell. I said to Stuart, I was like, we need to look at what tires, what wets he's got on when he comes in. And he came in, Ali Grant, I think his name was. He came in and he had slicks, and we were like, wow.
Short guy?
Nah.
No, okay.
Why is everyone short for you, man?
Skinny was the other one.
Oh, right. Well,
everyone's short to you.
Yeah. Tell me the Donald story.
I think this was last year or the year before. I was doing a lot of Knock Hill, right? And I had come to the realization that I don't go out on the first session. And the reason I don't go out on the first session is because it's going to get red flagged. And it always did. I don't know if Knock Hill was just stacking everybody, and it just got red flagged every time on the first session. So I was like, I'm just not going to go out. Put my leathers on, check my PSI, let the guys fucking, I'm tired because I'm waking up fucking, I'm leaving at 7 o'clock in the morning, which, is not really for a lot of these guys, but I'm tired, whatever. Just let them all go out. Something happens where I'm busy as fuck, and then I get my bike ready, and then my wife goes, oh, when's the next track day? And I'm like, I don't know. Can you look at Knock Hill and tell me when the next track day is? She goes, oh, it's this date. I'm like, cheeky, can you buy it for me? She goes, yeah, I'll buy it, because I just am busy as fuck. So she buys it for me, right? I had no idea it was a James Whittam. The difference with the James Whittam is, like, he's a fucking proper school. School.
Yes, yeah.
And it's to the point that he legally has to, you have to go out on the first session. You have to, I think it's like 6 riders or 10 riders. And then when you're done, they literally show you that's the fucking pit.
Yeah.
Because they've had people that are literally just going around circles, going in the opposite direction because they can't find out how to exit the track, right? So I get there. And Grant, if you're watching, he'll remember this story. I'll tell you about Grant here in a second. CBT instructor, which I hope can pass me one of these days. Wink, wink. So here I am wearing this clothes, right? And he's got his leather on, and he goes, hey, are you going on the track? I'm like, nah. He goes, who are you? He must have thought I was fucking like somebody special. I'm like, just a fucking Joe Schmo, right? So they're out on track. They're doing first and second lap, and I get down there, and all of a sudden this dude looks at me and goes, what are you doing? Well, I'm about to check the PSI of my tires. He goes, you need to get your ass on track. I'm like, I'm not going nowhere. He goes, you're going out on track. I'm the instructor. I'm like, I'm like, oh, really? What's your name? He goes, Dan Linfoot.
Is that the guy that won the week after?
Yeah, the day before.
Oh, he did.
He was instructing Donald.
Yes, that's right. I remember Donald telling me about it.
So him and I get into a big fucking spat, and I'm fucking.
Dude, what the fuck is it when you get into this?
I know. And you know what? You don't be a hypocrite. You're about to fight. You were. Hey, no, you.
I had no kills back.
Hey, no. You ran into the same problem as me. We'll go back to that. We'll go back to that. Anyways, so I can't be forced to go on track. I don't want to go on track. But I understand their legal situation, but I just didn't know it was a James Whittam. I don't know what the fuck this shit is. I'm just showing up. I don't want to go out on track. Anyways, I smoothed it over the guy. I was like, listen, I didn't know who you were, and now it makes sense. I'm sorry. Sorry, internet.
Fair.
And actually, we get to talking, and I make good friends with him. I'm friends with him on Facebook, or at least I follow him. He probably has no recollection who I am. He's probably gonna come across this and be like, "Oh, that's that fucking asshole American at Knock Hill." He's in Japan, sponsored by Suzuki, doing endurance races, racing in Le Mans and whatnot.
He's living the life.
So he
we're just trying to imitate it.
He actually goes out and he instructs Donald for half the day
in a group.
No, him.
Oh, right.
I think 700 pounds.
Okay, yeah.
And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know if I want to continue with the story because he. In fact, I'll say the story, and then if I need to edit it out, we'll edit it out. His mind was blown about YouTube and shit like that, and like we got to talking about sponsors, and he's like, well, I actually like this brand, but I can't because I'm sponsored by that brand. And then for me, I was like, I don't give a fuck. I literally have two conflicting fucking brands. I'll be sponsored by Michelin and Dunlop, and I'll fucking put them both on my thing. And though granted, I'm only making pennies, he's legitimately sponsored by that person, right? But I told him, I said, you could do it by an associate program. And for him, he was just like, his mind was blown. Oh, no, actually, the story isn't too bad. I told him, I said, I literally pay people cash to follow me around the track. Since he wasn't doing anything for the rest of the day, he's like, Kyle Ride, Christian Iden, and me to follow you and do wheelies by you at Knock Hill. I said, I'll give you 50 pounds cash right now. He says, okay. In the video, these guys are riding wheelies, and they're just like, I could see Kyle Ride shaking his head, how poor of a rider I am. He's like, this guy is fucking amateur. I go into a false neutral. I'm all over the place. But he earned that 50 pounds. I tell you what, he went back to the business like, that was the easiest 50 pounds I've ever made.
I like it, man. What's that got to do with Donald?
Because Donald left. The only reason, like, Donald was there, and then for some reason, I don't know if the day
did he finish early?
Yeah, he left, okay. And then because Donald left, he freed him up to do that. Anyways, so we probably only have a few more minutes of this second podcast, but and that's what we'll do. Yeah, I think what I want to talk about is upcoming podcasts that I do want to. I still, every time I talk, we have a podcast, I love talking about things to prepare for, because there's not enough information that we could transfer across for new people to prep their bikes and prep for the track. Before you answer that. Buying prepared used secondhand bikes versus buying it off the showroom, because I think there's pros and cons to both.
Oh, dude, I've got a good one for that.
And then a Croft review. My buddy, he wanted a good old fashioned Croft review, and then I talked about PSI. Yeah. So I think we're gonna end this podcast.
We are. Ultimately, we'll make some notes about other ones, but it'll be interesting stuff like buying new versus modified and et cetera, because I've got a very good, strong opinion about that one. And I've got experience in both.
Me too.
Oh,
yeah, me too. Mm-hmm. All right.